stalking's bad, okay? Why am I starting with a South Park reference? Welcome back to Watching the Wall, where I watch DVDs that I own and have not seen. And today, we've got a sensitive topic on our hands. The central focus of this film is a woman suffering the effects of having a long-term stalker. So, if this seems like a topic you don't want to talk about or listen to, I understand. Here's your warning now, it may get a little intense. I wish I could tell you exactly why I own Unsane. As far as I remember, I saw the trailer and thought this seems like a fascinating premise, and it looks like it's shot really well. I can't wait for this to come out. And then I missed it in theaters. In fact, when I looked closer at the DVD, I noticed something very interesting on the back. Prime Video DVD. What is that? So at first I went, oh, this must have been a direct-to-Prime Video movie that I just, for some reason, got a physical copy of. Why would I order that? Looked into my order history, and no, I never purchased that through Amazon. And they've saved stuff all the way back to when I got Gargoyles back in 2007. I still haven't finished watching that. In fact, where is that? I must have lost it in Florida. Nothing good happens in Florida. Well, at the time it was published, I know it was fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. We know that from the cover. So I started to look into who directed it. Steven Soderbergh. I wish I could tell you more about him. He's had an extensive directing career, beginning with Sex, Lies, and Videotape, and then spinning off into Aaron Brockovich, Traffic, for which he won an Oscar, then Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, Contagion, and Magic Mike. Steven, I have no idea who you are. I was really hoping, since this said to have special features, feature. I was really hoping, since this had a special feature on it, that I'd be able to, find out some more information. This is what I got. Boo! Boo! That was a sizzle reel of behind the scenes stuff. There was no substance to that whatsoever. Boo! So, aside from a marketing pitch that made me like it enough to pick it up in a discount bin somewhere, I really didn't know anything about this jumping in. So what's all of this about? Let's take a look. Academy Award-winning director Steven Soderbergh plunges audiences into the suspense and drama of a resilient woman's fight to reclaim her freedom even as she risks her own sanity. Still scarred from the trauma of being terrorized by a stalker, Sawyer Valentini, Claire Foy, the Crown, receives treatment at the Highland Creek Behavioral Center. However, shortly after she unwittingly commits herself to the mental institution and is unable to leave, she catches sight of a facility staffer who, she is convinced, is actually her stalker. But is he real or a product of her delusion? So already on the back cover, we're questioning this woman's sanity because she's being stalked. I'd call that a red flag, but let's see how the movie plays out.
You're quite within your rights to take your business to another bank. Another analyst may interpret the data more to your liking, but they'd be doing a bad job. Good morning. What?
That's our main character, Sawyer. She's really good at fitting in. Technically, the movie doesn't open here. It opens with this.
I love it when you wear blue. I mean, I love you in anything, but you wore blue that first time I saw you, so any time I see you in blue, it reminds me of how I felt at that moment.
Oh, this is a very blue movie. Well, that's tone setting, isn't it? We can tell that Sawyer's a little frazzled. Not only because she's still talking to her mother at lunch all the time, but she just seems to be distant from every single facet of her life that doesn't have to do with work. This lens that he chose, very specific. She is enormous in the center, and everything else is just so distant from her. Because that's how she has to be with the world. Everything is just so far away. And she is stuck in her own little bubble for her own safety. Oh, those poor beleaguered mothers just trying to make sure their kids are doing okay. Later on, she recounts the story of the stalker and how it began, so let's just do that here so we have a good baseline.
My father died when I was 15. Respiratory failure.
Sorry.
No one saw it coming. So while I was fantasizing about being the savior who would pull his father back to clarity, David was having his own fantasies.
I mean, it's his dad's funeral and all, but no. For the past 2 years, she's been the victim of a man named David Strine. Why can't he just find a friend? Why can't he just go out and get a girlfriend? Why does she have to bear the burden of being his obsession? These are all questions that don't have answers. It's just a fact of life for some people, and oh my goodness, it's uncomfortable. And then we get a Matt Damon cameo.
Baby showers or Chardonnay day with the girls or, whatever it is. If there's someone's taking a picture, you do whatever you can to get out of it. All right? And think of your cell phone as your enemy and this, your new best friend.
What an on-the-nose present, dude. Because David decided that he wanted to be with her no matter what, Sawyer's life basically has to end in the current situation she's in. It is fascinating that even after centuries of dealing with this problem, of this specific instance happening to women throughout time, our best answer is still, well, you need to break your routine. You need to upend your life. You need to make sure that he doesn't get to you. This is on you. What? She literally sat there doing her job, and he became engrossed with her. So now she has to upend everything. She's feeling a little rattled. Still sees his face around every corner. So she does the responsible thing and decides to get a little bit of help.
But you still see your stalker everywhere?
Rationally, I know that this is my neuroses, colluding with my imagination to manifest my worst fears. I know that. But I'm not rational.
She's talking herself out of what she's seeing and feeling. This is not going to end well for her. Sawyer's told to go fill out some routine paperwork to set up their next appointment. Boilerplate stuff. Don't bother reading it. Always read contracts you're signing. She's led down a long hallway, stripped of her possessions, and then committed.
The door's locked. For your privacy. I need you to take off your clothes down to your underwear and remove all your jewelry.
The last thing you want when you're being stalked is to be trapped in a glass jar. They can find you real easy in there. Seems like Sawyer was just plugged in here because she signed the wrong piece of paper at the wrong time. And then Nate pulls her aside and tells her what he believes is really going on.
But I'm fine. I just need to talk to somebody.
Yeah, that's why Highland Creek and all the other Highland Creeks and Cumberland Pines and Cedar Valleys under the ADS Health Enterprises umbrella exist. You talk, they find a way to keep you and get you admitted. And you stay locked up until Aetna, Blue Cross, Medicaid, or whoever insures you will pay.
It's like a ransom scheme, but legal. I have no idea if this is based on reality, of any kind of real story, but the fact that I readily buy this as plausible really tells you what I think of the healthcare system I'm in. She did what she was supposed to, and then got trapped in a situation she can't escape. Does this sound familiar at all? Oh yeah, a little triggering for her too. Especially when she sees this.
Cops are on their way.
Yeah, nothing like the orderly being a doppelganger for your stalker, huh? That's not gonna mess with you at all. After calling the police, who do their routine stop by, check that the paperwork is filled out, and then leave without ever meeting or talking to her, authority fails her so hard throughout this entire process. It's maddening. This is how people like David Stride get what they want, because no one's really paying attention. This movie focuses so well on the struggle of somebody in a desperate state just trying to get the basic help they need and not receiving an inch. The movie for me really begins when it's confirmed to the audience that George is not who he says he is. And at this point I say, hey, good, the movie's actually letting me know I'm not crazy, she's not crazy, this is a scary situation, and this man is in total control of it. Oh, thank you. I love that it happens this early in the film, because if it went on much longer with the is it or is it not, I think I wouldn't have liked it as much. I want to be on her side because she is just being victimized by everybody around her. This is everything he dreamed of. She has no authority here. She is purely a pawn to be pushed around and drugged. And he can spend as much time just watching her as he wants to. It's technically his job to observe the patients. And why is blocking it from the camera the only thing you need to do? Do you not see that there's someone standing in the window staring at you both? See? With the intense glare of a man who has found his prey. Nate is a very level-headed person, a calming presence that she certainly needs, not only in this facility, but probably within her stay in this city, to give her a little bit of something to lean on. I'm really glad that she found him, and I can't wait to see...
No hidden foes. No personal relationship that can impede upon another patient's recovery.
The more I think about Nate, the sadder I get. Systematically identifying and then destroying all of her external support so she can only lean on him. Why is this guy looking familiar too? Is it just me? David does not care about anyone else aside from Sawyer. So after covertly planting the evidence of the abuse, he causes Sawyer to snap.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna touch you. I don't want you to feel uncomfortable.
You being here makes me uncomfortable, David! It's so easy for some people to conflate obsession with actual affection, but there is a clear difference. David believes he loves her because he's never felt actual connection with a person before. All he knows is he's severely infatuated with her, and he can't imagine life without this obsession. Well, that's not the same as actually having a connection, is it? Because she feels nothing but disgust for the little, pathetic man that he is. And that's not me reading between the lines, straight from her mouth.
We will be happy.
Be happy! You could never make me happy! Look at where we are, David. Look at what you've done. There is no path to happiness from here. For either of us.
She could have been anybody. Anyone could be in her shoes, but because it's her, he has to be involved in her life. I'm never going to understand exactly what Sawyer's going through, because in our society, it's very unlikely that that's going to happen to me. It is much more common for women to have to go through exactly what Sawyer had to go through. All because one guy just decided, she's mine. The scripting in this could have easily gone into the over-the-top direction, but even in its final through-the-woods chase scene, yes, it makes sense, trust me, you get this sense that David still doesn't realize what he's done and who he really is.
You're only delaying the inevitable, Sawyer!
I'm so scared right now. Oh my god, I recognize where I saw this guy before. He was Josh! Wow! Welcome back, buddy. I'm sure you've been doing stuff, but I haven't seen you since the Blair Witch took you. The authority in the 11th hour finally comes in when Sawyer has already solved her own problem. A horror movie trope, but wow, it works so well here. You really do buy that no one was going to do anything unless she took care of matters herself. But in a little nice epilogue, we jump to 6 months after the fact. David's been thoroughly dispatched, and Sawyer's actually back at that job that she's strangely good at.
Joe? I asked you here today to tell you something serious. The company wants to thank you for all your hard work, but it's time to move on. You need to clear out your desk.
She's fake firing her. This is such a Michael Scott move. And then she starts to hear something.
I feel like she might be the one. Like I can visualize myself spending the rest of my life with this girl.
Even though David's gone, he's never going to be out of her mind. She's never going to be normal again. she went to that counselor because she knew she needed help. And she's probably never gonna go back to one because of what happened the last time she did. Unsane is intense. It's graphic at times, but not overly gory. It tells a very real story, sensationalized just enough to make it worth having a feature film about. I don't know why it took me so long to watch this. So, at the end of the day, buy it, stream it, lend it, or toss it. I'd stream it. Oh yeah. The only special feature is basically a glorified trailer for the film. I wish they had more insights into it because I really want to know what the thought process was behind the writing here because it's really well done. Thank you for watching The Wall again with me. I appreciate all the renewed interest in this channel, and I'm personally thanking everyone who watched all the way through to this. I'm actually about in tears from the reception already, and I'm just happy that people still want to see me do this. So thank you, sincerely. If you have questions, comments, and concerns, just email me at theothersocio@gmail.com and I'll be getting back to you as soon as I can. So until next time, if you ever feel like you or a loved one are at risk, be sure to listen to each other, sincerely and honestly, and do whatever you can to make sure that you're both safe. Because being believed is the first step to actually making a difference. Bye for now! Unsane is heartbreaking. Hello, airplane. Oh.
It's 7 a.m.
I've been recording for almost an hour? Oh my god, I thought I was gonna have to worry about finding a material to talk about.